Hi, welcome to the Tryforce podcast, where we talk about video games, we talk about movies, anime now, apparently.
Yeah, we're fucking multimedia at this point.
That alone is going to get us copyright.
Watch the show. No.
It's the Tryforce.
All right, so it might have taken me about 40 days and 40 nights and probably about a good 40 hours. But we're back. We can finally do part 2 of God of War Ragnarok because I've finally finished the game and I wouldn't be spoiled by anything we're about to talk about here today. Cole.
Yeah, I felt so bad about that. Sorry.
Put it in the Tryforce lore forever. It was really it was only impetus to kind of like give this game all of my attention, and like now I'm catching up on all of the games that I put on the shelf in order to play God of War Ragnarok. But God, do I not regret an absolute second of doing my very best to get to the end of this story, because it was as great and as, you know, bittersweet as I was kind of imagining that it would be the whole time.
Yeah, you know what? This game is refreshing to me because it shows that with a little effort and a little time, that game companies can make a game that isn't a steaming pile of crap.
Oh my God.
I love it. I really love it. And it's like, wow, imagine it getting delayed because they wanted to work on it more. Oh my God. The horror. You know?
Imagine it getting delayed so that they could protect their employees from a pandemic.
Details.
Right? Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. You know, nothing for the bottom line. Oh my God, nothing. That doesn't bring in those microtransactions.
No, not at all.
Ridiculous. No, but you're right. I feel the same way about games that I do about my taxes. Like I will invest more into this if it goes to the right places.
Exactly.
Like I'm good.
I see people all the time online. It's like, oh, we couldn't add voice. I'm going to use Pokemon as an example. Oh, we couldn't add voice acting to Pokemon because it would have taken longer and they would have had to work longer on the game. I'm like, that's the weirdest argument I've ever heard in my life. Wait longer for a better game.
A fully voice acted Pokemon, like. If you like, there's only so many. I mean, there's a lot. Let's be real, but there's only so many words that you would need to have people voice act, even poorly. If you use Endure the same every time, it doesn't matter. I'm still hearing it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
and this game its sound design is so good.
This game was unbelievable from the writing to the actual gameplay. There was very, very little wrong with the gameplay, and that's extremely rare nowadays. This game was it felt like the perfect game experience.
The gameplay and the combat is so complicated. I feel like I went through this game like a caveman, like Unga Bunga swing axe.
But that's the thing, is you can do that if you want to. You don't have to do the optimized strats. Things just die to the axe.
Right. No, I mean, there's combos and like you can switch between weapons and then you can go barehanded. It was so good, and then I see people online busting out these ridiculous combos with the runic attacks at the right time to just like
so good.
They don't even touch bosses, they don't even touch certain berserkers, and just like do it all. And you know, you can have that, or you can have Unga Bunga swing axe and still get the amazing story in the background of this game.
Yeah, you can literally play it how you want to, and you'll experience the story the same way, and that's a perfect game. You know, that's a perfect game to me, is that you don't need to write it down. Like, it's not Melee. You don't need to write it down. You don't need to look at the fucking flowcharts. You just go in there and play it, and it would still hold up regardless of how you played it.
Yeah. And I think it's overall, you know, a game trying to tell a story, so it's gonna deliver that experience however the player wants it. If it really needs to be grueling, like for certain people, I feel like there's a certain group of gamers that need their games to be just punishing. Just like it's got to be some kind of interior masochism.
See, I play RuneScape. That is me.
Like, yeah, no, you enjoy a good difficult video game.
Yeah.
Perhaps in a different fashion, but like, you know, a game with a you either like a game that is built difficult or a game that is, you know, not designed to be difficult, but it's difficult to do perfectly, and you enjoy doing them perfectly.
Yes, Star Fox 64.
But no, that's exactly that's exactly what I was thinking of. And this is definitely a hard game to do perfectly. It is. It's a rough and tumble slog. These enemies kept destroying my life.
Yeah, they are enemies from myth, and they make you aware of that.
Right. So last time that we were here, last time I've been in my trailer ever since, actually. Last time we were here,
I locked the door and he couldn't come out until we finished it.
Exactly. We recorded all the other podcasts in the traile.
I fed him a microphone through the window. It was kind of fun.
And you dropped me off a Lunchable that one time. So last time we were together, Atreus and Kratos had just freed Tyr, and they were fighting through the land of the light and dark elves in Alfheim. And they find out Groa's prophecy. And Groa was a giant who prophesied that instead of all of the realms are going to be destroyed, Odin is going to finally cash in a long check of atrocities, and Asgard is going to be the one destroyed while all of the other realms survive. And they believe that Atreus is going to be the one to help this happen and help save all of the realms except for Asgard, because fuck Asgard, I guess. There's nobody there that doesn't deserve that. Like,
yeah. Oh my god! Like, when I love Norse mythology, but even I didn't know like half of the shit that happened here. I'm like, oh no! And like, you know what my favorite part about it is how just nonchalant about it Odin, and he literally did the thing I did earlier in the podcast. He was like, details. Anyway, what do we got? Like, just
who gives a fuck?
I can't believe. I kind of love it though. That's the problem.
It's like gods treat prophecy like we treat like rumor mills. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
literally. Right. Oh my god.
Right. So obviously learning that he is a, you know, when he learned he was a god and when he learned he was like the champion of the Jotun, he gets a little ahead of himself, gets a little swell of the ego, and Kratos and Atreus famously have a falling out over the latter's supposed destiny. And that was a crazy falling out. That was the one where they like fought and argued, and like Atreus like literally left Sindri's house.
Yeah.
And it's the only time in the whole game that Kratos drops the boy. Because that's how he's acting. He's
acting first game Kratos. And like I think that was so powerful. And it was just, and then Atreus just turns away and is just like, nah. I'm like, oh my God, my boy's growing up. Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah. That was so sad. You know, like I know Kratos just wants to help. He don't get it. You know, he don't understand.
No, he's a boomer father, yeah.
He's a boomer father, but like he's like the good boomer father where he will try to understand. You know, like,
he's doing his best.
He's doing his best. He's trying. I get it.
That night, Atreus is magically transported to Jotunheim, where he meets the giantess Angrboda, who shows him a mural that seemingly foretells Kratos' death in Ragnarok, and later Atreus serving Odin. So I'm definitely going to agree with you. This was totally sad to kind of see their like separation, but it's also kind of like when you watch like a new anime and the protagonist like almost dies, like episode 3. I'm like, come on, all right, come on, man. Let's get this over with. Like, you guys are going to come back together. It's going to be cute. It's going to be nice, father son. But let's go here. But this whole little trip to Jotunheim was so much fun. I loved Angrboda and I loved being in Jotunheim. It was one of my favorite. I think like visually the level was really, really fun, and
it was beautiful.
Yeah. Land of the Giants for sure. Atreus also learns that the giants have transferred their souls into pretty much, I'm going to drop it one more time, Colton, pretty much spiritual mighty beings to evade Odin's wrath.
We got the Tryforce Mighty Bean hat trick, ladies and gentlemen. Mighty Beans, Hasbro, sponsor us.
If you do not sponsor us, send us 3 Mighty Beans with our faces on it for free. We understand. We will pay shipping. Like, it's all good.
Oh my god. They're like, it's like fucking Beetlejuice.
That'd be cute. Honestly, that would be adorable. After helping stop Angraboda's grandmother Gryla from stealing animal souls, Atreus is entrusted with the remaining spirit stones, using one of his to put a giant's soul into the body of a snake. Holy shit, the Gryla level where it was like a fairy tale, you had to like hide behind her cup and shit. Like, it was crazy.
You know, and it's also still fucks me up that not all giants are, well, giant. You know,
yeah.
It's so weird to me. And I don't know why that is. You know, I think it's just like there's so much magic in that realm that people can just be that big.
Sure. It is a thing. But like, if you like, we associate giants with the term with being tall.
Yes.
However, like Jotun pretty much just means giant. And it's just a group of people where some people can grow, it magically, probably comically tall.
Oh, and, yeah, absolutely.
And we remember like the giant's corpse from the first game and all of the dead giants in Jotunheim. Those were massive, massive beings, colossal. So, it comes in waves, I guess. It's kind of like how you can have really, really short humans and extremely tall humans.
Exactly. And it's just so weird to see the two of them together, especially knowing that they're related. You know, like that's weird.
Like you kind of are like a giant human. You are kind of on the taller side of things. Like, I'll be honest, I saw you for the first time in a long time, like yesterday or so. And I was just like, sometimes you stand up and I'm like, bloody fucking hell. Okay, right. Never. You know what? We're okay. Yeah. All right.
That's why they have me in a position of security at my job, because like I stood up today during my shift overnight. Someone was causing problems. I stood up to go respond and they went, okay then.
All right, I'm done with this.
It was amazing. It was just this simple, okay then. And then just no problems for the rest of the night.
I'm going back to my car. Yeah, so we had the Jotunheim level. They're kind of moving on from it, but we kind of got like the callback number from Angraboda. We kind of like, it was like, yeah, come back, like whenever. Yep. Like, Atreus returns to Midgard, where Kratos angrily informs him that he's been missing for 2 days, but they are again attacked by Freya with her Valkyrie powers restored because Atreus returns to their old house. And Freya knows where their old house is at.
Yup.
Right. However, Freya relents when Kratos shields her from Atreus in his bear form and agrees to spare Kratos if he helps her break the curse binding her to Midgard. So fucking Atreus goes rage mode and Kratos tries to be like, she was our friend. Like, don't hurt her. Like, because he knows he's not in control and like is trying to appeal to his son's sense of sympathy, which he knows is there.
Yeah, and like that's what I love about Atreus. Oh my god, Atreus, because
get yourself a bowl of Atreus this morning.
Oh man, but I really, really love that. He's still his like good-hearted self. Where if he's being attacked by a friend, if someone was formerly a friend, he will do whatever possible to kind of get them back and help them out. Whereas Kratos is like, it is what it is. Like, I get that Kratos is a little more experienced in that realm, but, I really like that Kratos is learning from him, that not everything is what it is.
Right. And Kratos is, more than, Kratos is like, look, if we're going to fight, we're going to fight. But this is how it's going to be. Like,
Exactly. And he's like, you know what? There's something in this world, some things in this world you don't understand yet. And Atreus is like, no, fuck that. What? She was our friend. Let's talk to her. You know?
Yeah.
Like we did some shit, man. Like we gotta fix it.
We have to fix this for sure. And the way to fix it is to break Odin's curse on Freya, which binds her to Midgard, and she can't travel to any of the other realms.
Yeah,
So-
that's fucking crazy.
So she takes on the form of a falcon to circumvent this spell, and Freya travels with Kratos and Mimir to Vanaheim, where her estranged brother Freyr leads a resistance against Odin. A very small resistance, but a very important one nonetheless to me.
Oh, Freyr. I loved him so much.
He was a good character. I was expecting to see him eventually when I saw Freya show up in the first game, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And I like what they did with him for sure.
Yeah, I like his like laid back yet cocky attitude. You
Right.
know?
Definitely knew he could, definitely on the low beats here, like definitely not to be messed with. As they travel, Kratos opens up to Freya about the deaths of his first family in Greece and of the emptiness of revenge. After the two kill the Nidhogg and break the curse, Freya admits that she can neither forgive Kratos for killing her son, nor kill him in return, and the two make amends.
I really love that, like the boat conversations that Freya and Kratos have during this time. Well, it's not boat conversations; it's the wolf sled conversations. And
Loved the sled. Loved the sled. A lot of fun.
God, and like she's just like, do you have any idea what it's like to lose a child, to see them killed in front of you? And Kratos just goes, yes. And she's just like, there was another, wasn't there? And then he's like, yes. And she's like, you can hear it in her voice, like, oh fuck, he's been through this before.
I have said the wrong thing.
Like, I have no more ammo for this.
She is part of the video game and still chose the wrong dialogue option.
Yes. Oh my God. And then he goes over it. He's like, yeah, no, I literally killed my own wife and child on the trick of a god, and now I wear their ashes as my skin. And she's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
She's like, look, whatever's going on with me, like I am.
Let's table that for a second. Do you need to talk?
Literally. Oh, it's ad time. Let's see what capitalism has for us today. And the really interesting part about the Nidhogg fight is that the Nidhogg is being kind of manipulated by Odin. Surprise, surprise. And so the Nidhogg fight was a lot of fun, but it definitely made me feel bad. Like, I was like, oh, wow, we were not supposed to do that. Like,
And you feel like once the Nidhogg fight is over, it kind of sets in that quite literally every entity in Norse mythology has Odin's leash on it.
right.
And it's like, how do you go about, and it's so fucked up because that's what Odin kind of planned, is how are you going to kill these things that aren't acting on their own will?
Right.
And Kratos is just like, here we go! And Odin's like,
gonna be sore in the morning.
Odin's like, I did not account for this. Whoa!
Right. The Nidhogg is a fucking like dragon, essentially, that guards the roots of the Erd tree. Excuse me, I've been playing too much Elden Ring. The Yggdrasil, the world tree. And so Freya was bound via a root of the world tree, Yggdrasil, and so the Nidhogg, being the guardian, only was doing what it was supposed to do, which is defend the Yggdrasil.
Yeah, and it's, oh God, it sucks. Because now what does that open? Like, does another Nidhogg come out, or does it, like, is it just gone? Is the world tree just vulnerable now?
I'll tell you exactly what it did most for me, which made me the saddest, was you go back to Sindri's house, where we're about to hop back in here, and poor Ratatoskr, he's like, "Oh, where are you? Like, I don't know where you've gone. Like, I don't know. This is weird. You've never done this before." Like, and I'm like, "Oh man, that's our fault. We did that." Back at the Huldra Refuge, Kratos and Atreus have another argument regarding his recent deceitful behavior.
He's the trickster god Loki. That's going to happen a few times.
Ending in Atreus fleeing to Asgard as to find a way to prevent his father's death. Now, this was Atreus going to Asgard by himself in order to try to circumvent the prophecy that he sees with Angrboda. And he's like, "Nah, I'm doing this. I'm in control. Odin's not going to manipulate me." And I'm like, "You dense motherfucker." I don't know. If I had a week, I couldn't tell you how many different ways this is a horrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get where he's coming from. He's like, my dad doesn't understand, and we don't have enough time for him to get it. So, like, I'm just gonna I felt the same. I felt Atreus on this one. I really did feel Atreus on this one as someone who has recently had to take charge in my own parents' home and be like, "No, we're doing this, this, and this, and this. I'm not waiting anymore.
We're done."
Yeah, like, we just had a fucking dumpster come to the house and ship everything away. So, like, I get it. Obviously, there's a bit of a higher stake in Atreus' situation.
Oh, sure.
Than more walking room, but
cluttered house, end of the world, you know?
Yeah, same thing, same thing. But it makes sense, and Atreus is kind of doing the right thing. I really do think he's doing the right thing, because not the nice thing, but the right thing, because he has to venture out by himself. A force like Odin has to be undercut. It cannot be overcut. Odin has to trust the person who betrays him, and that's it. And it's just such a good way to do it, because at the same time, Loki's a god. He's a literal god. So if anybody's gonna be okay up there, it's him. And he's got to figure out the world. He's got to figure out all of this deception. He has to figure out how to protect himself in a situation where Kratos isn't there. And this is the first time he's really done this.
Yeah. I was like, I'll be honest with you. And I'm like, sure, this is probably where all of like the losers are feeling in this crowd. So I feel a little ashamed for feeling it, but I also don't. I was like, damn, a lot of Atreus solo levels in this game. Like, sure, I love my boy. I liked being able to, be outside of Kratos, obviously. But I was like, I felt like at a moment I was like, damn, wish they would do less of these. I feel like it was like when I was reading Game of Thrones and all the Bran chapters would come up, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, I don't care, But so I feel bad, because later on I was like, you're Atreus, let's go, shooting arrows.
Yeah, this is definitely the Halo 2 of the new God of War trilogy. It's you got to get the Arbiter levels to figure out his life.
I did a complete 180 on them, but at this time in the game, like, because we did the stuff with Angrboda, we just kind of got Kratos and Freya, and then we're just like off again with Atreus, and I was like, damn, brother, I had a moment, a breath with Kratos and Freya.
No, I'm saying now we're in Asgard, and when they get into Asgard, oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's fucking beautiful. Like, this is one of the most beautifully designed levels in this whole game.
Yeah, it was simple, the giant wall, the famous story of the Master Builder. That's so crazy. Like, climbing the wall was such a great way to just kind of like build up going into Asgard.
I forgot the kid's name that he made friends with on the way. But like, when he met Atreus, he's like, "Oh, you're from Midgard. You're Odin's guest? Oh, that's cool. Why doesn't he just whisk you away?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm just going to go climb the wall." And he's like, "You're going to what?"
Nobody does that. It's like, you're going to die. It's like,
well, I'm so glad to have talked to you, but I really don't want to see you die immediately. So maybe let's think about this.
right. It's a kid his age, and they do act like boys that age together.
Yeah.
Like, it's sweet. Atreus climbs all the way up to the wall where he is greeted by and has a hostile encounter with Heimdall.
Oh, we all know a Heimdall in our lives.
It's crazy because, like, I was so jazzed to see what they were going to do with Heimdall because they kept alluding to Heimdall. And Heimdall is necessary for this game and its byline because Heimdall has Gjallarhorn, which signals the beginning of Ragnarok and sees everything. Watches over the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge that connects the realms. He's a big deal. And then they made him just like a smarmy douche.
Yeah. You got to think about it this way. A person who sees everything, who can predict anything that is ever happening at all times, nothing is a surprise to him. You get kind of smarmy and condescending when you have that kind of power.
I don't think so. Untrue, because I feel like I really enjoyed the way that Idris Elba did Heimdall in the Thor movies, where, like, because he could see everything, he was this sort of wise and enlightened being, where I feel like it's just like, haha, too slow. Like, they literally made him like this. Like,
they made him Brawl Sonic. You know what I mean?
It was crazy. I was like, I don't understand. Like, I get it. It's a new take on the character. You need a villain. It's fine.
If Idris Elba Heimdall was in this game, you would feel so terrible about killing him.
Of course.
They needed to make him a smarmy dickhead.
Yeah, they do that with God of War bosses. Like, they made Baldur, like, infuriating so that you would be like, shut the fuck up.
You know, and it's like, I get why they also did that because it's unfortunately more lore accurate. Gods tend to be pretty dickish.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Like, it makes sense. You know, in a time where Heimdall is pretty much like Odin's right-hand man. And like Odin trusts Heimdall and Heimdall mistakenly trusts Odin.
Right.
And he's like, I'm the greatest. I'm the dude. I'm the one that's going to stop Ragnarok. I'm the one that's got the keys to the kingdom. Oh yeah. Like, he's just like, you know what I mean?
Like, you gave all of that power to, like, Patrick Bateman. It's, like, weird. Like, I don't like it. Like, it's strange.
Yeah, there was no vetting process for a Heimdall, but it makes sense with his power why he'd be a smarmy dickhead, because you're coming to take away everything that he loves, everything that he holds dear, and he can see that coming miles away. So I wouldn't be thrilled if I were Heimdall. I get it.
However, Atreus is saved by Thor and Odin, the latter requesting his help in preventing Ragnarok by reassembling an ancient mask that can supposedly look into the rift between worlds and grant infinite knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, quite a quest, really, for sure. That's a high-level quest.
I remember Odin. One line that made me really laugh hard was Odin. Loki was about to peer into the thing, and he's like, no, don't do that. We got to put the mask on first to avoid, and he points to his eye patch.
Yeah.
You don't want this. You don't want, this. I thought that was really, really funny.
Yeah. They definitely alluded a lot to, like, kind of a new way around certain things. Because in the myth, Odin literally carves out his own eye and leaves it in a pool.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a different way. And I like it to kind of have this sort of MacGuffin of, like, the mask and, like, what is it going to do and what is in the realm tear and stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, seeking to reclaim Atreus, Kratos has Freya and Mimir lead him to the Norns, who they get to on the back of a Kelpie. I thought that was a fun little level. Who say that Heimdall is destined to kill Atreus. In response, Kratos and Brock forged the Draupnir ring into the powerful Draupnir spear, capable of making infinite copies of itself, bypassing Heimdall's foresight and harming him.
Oh, what an unbelievable weapon.
Really enjoyed the spear. Really enjoyed the spear.
I love when you pick up the spear and Brock is like, oh, you seem pretty good with a spear, and then Kratos is like, yeah, it's the first weapon a Spartan learns how to use, so I'm pretty good with this.
Yeah.
It's so good to see him have a spear again, a spear and a shield. I'm just like, hell yes.
I'm gonna geek out even further and say that if you do the kind of the run and quick attack, he does an actual Athenian like Spartan spear thrust, like using the weight of the body behind the tip of the spear in kind of like a jump strike. I was like, yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah. But we also have to talk about something that happened to Brock in the Draupnir spear era. So, Brock, why is he blue? We find out why he blue?
Because he's missing part of his little soul.
He's missing part of his soul, and we find that out when Brock, oh, poor Brock, dude. He went to the Forge Master, who turned out to be a mermaid, which was really, really cool. And the mermaid can only see souls. And she didn't even pay him any mind. Which is like, he's like, what's the matter with me? Do I smell? Am I terrible? Like, what's the fuck? Because he's in love with her, which is like, oh my God, like Brock. And Sindri didn't want him to go with Kratos on this mission. Like, he was so vehemently against it.
Right.
And then we find out it's for that reason, because Brock had died before, and Sindri basically recreated Brock, but he doesn't have the last quarter of his soul.
Yeah.
And that's why he is the way that's why he feels so empty. And it's like, oh my God. And if Brock dies, that's it. There's no Valhalla for him. There's no nothing. It's just, he's just gone.
Yeah. I don't think it was even implied that he was going to hell either. Like,
no, it's nothing. It's entirely nothing, which is so scary.
Yeah. And, only makes, certain other plot points only hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, so when Brock finds this out, he gets really mad at Sindri, and he's just like, what the fuck? You couldn't have let me go? He gets mad at Sindri. He's like, you should have just let me go, dude. Like, what? I feel so bad for him, because I know he wants to be around his brother. He wants to be there. He wants to be part of the adventure, but he's like, not without a soul, man. Fucking Brock, dude.
The things you do for the people you love, like, it was obviously difficult for Sindri, so difficult that he decided to go as far as, talk to I don't remember her name, but it's like the mermaid that they, speak to. It is heartbreaking. It's like a brother's love, and it only, it's good intentioned, but does, Brock does have a point and is fair to be mad at it, I think.
Yeah. He didn't have a say in that. I'm sure if he was like, oh yeah, I can come back with only 3/4 of my soul, he'd be like, nah, fuck it. Let me go. Like, I'll be here. I'm good. You'll see me again one day. Like, oh my God. It's so sad to be robbed of that, You're told all your life that you get to go to Valhalla and this beautiful paradise, and you get robbed of it forever. Oh, God,
it's got to be tough on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Sindri. I understand it. You do everything to keep your loved ones in your life, but there's a cost, man. There's a cost, and it's a steep one. It is a steep one.
Atreus begins to search for pieces of the mask in Helheim with Thor's daughter, Thrud. Now, I don't think we've actually gone into Thrud yet. She probably did, make when Atreus was like staying in Asgard and like living there and stuff. she does kind of confront him about like the deaths of her brothers, but kind of it turns into nah, man, I was pulling your leg. They suck.
Yeah. I loved her. Like, I knew she was immediately going to be a homie. Like,
such a cutie pie. I love Thrud so much.
She's so funny, dude. Like, I'm so here for the like, and even I love the Atreus and Thor levels. You know, I thought those were really cool. I was like, please, can we make Thor a homie? Can we please do that? You know, I just, it would have been so good. And then, like, I hope Thrud comes back. I hope we get another we're going to get another God of War, but I hope that Thrud makes an appearance in that. You know, I know we're not going to, obviously, Norse mythology, we're done, you know.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, unless they start rewriting the chapters and Thrud takes over. Like, she's the last one in Odin's bloodline that can.
I'm just saying that, like, I would really love an Atreus-led third Norse game. You know, I'd be so into that.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Holy crap!
Yeah. So, while searching through Helheim with Thrud on Odin's orders as well, by the way. Atreus accidentally releases the giant wolf Garm, not on Odin's orders, who begins to tear holes in the realms, allowing Hellwalkers to wreak havoc on the realms. If there is a giant zombie wolf chained up, that is likely for a good reason.
No, I get it, but remember, this is Atreus. He only sees a giant wolf chained up. And what did we experience first in this game with Atreus and wolves? I understand it, Atreus. I understand. You know, he's just like, he's chained up in this freezing, awful place. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he doesn't want to be here, and maybe he's here against his will.
Right.
And all three of those things are true, but, you know, it's also a multi-dimensional zombie wolf, so maybe research that a little bit before, you know, just blindly unlocking the chains. But you know what? It had to. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. You know what I mean?
True. Atreus reunites with Kratos as both attempt to stop Garm. During the fight, Atreus realizes that he accidentally bound Fenrir's soul into his knife when the wolf died, and resurrects Fenrir by infusing his soul into Garm. The Garm fight?
Gigantic Fenrir makes me so happy.
Big friend. Big old boy.
Huge friend.
Dude, the teeth. Insane.
Absolutely, like, Mini Cooper sized teeth. That's...
Oh my gosh.
My God.
Those teeth are phone books. Yeah, phone booths.
They are. It's so upsetting. And then when Kratos looks at him and just goes, sit. And then he sits and the ground shakes. Oh my God.
I'm sure you enjoyed that.
It made me so happy, dude. Oh my God. And they killed, the way they found out that they could bind Fenrir's soul to Garm is they found out that it doesn't have a soul.
Right.
So
empty vessel.
They killed it. Yeah, they killed it and then it came back. And
you have to fight it like twice.
Yeah, because it's just when things without souls die, they go to Helheim. So it died. It's already in Helheim. So
it's like when you're leaving your house and you accidentally put your own home into the GPS. And
yes,
it's like
exactly.
1 minute ride.
Literally. It's like 50 feet. Oh, good. You know, I really loved that. And then Atreus is like, how do we stop? Oh, I did the thing with the snake. I have a soul knife. Watch this shit. And then Kratos is like, this is not going to work at all. And Atreus is like, well, let's find out. And I love that about Atreus now, where he's just like, I'm just gonna do it anyway. Dad, cover me.
Right. When we went to Jotunheim with Angrboda, she's like, dude, what's with the soul in your knife? And Atreus is like, the what in my what exactly? So, like, he didn't know until Angrboda told him. So without Angrboda, we would have a lot of trouble here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now reconciled, Kratos and Atreus return to the Huldra refuge, where Atreus shares his knowledge on Odin's mask with the rest of the group. However, the discussion is tabled when they learn that Freyr has been captured by the Aesir. Kratos, Atreus, Mimir, and Freya return to Vanaheim to rescue Freyr, during which time Kratos is forced to, alongside the prophecy, kill Heimdall and claim Gjallarhorn, inevitably setting Ragnarok in motion.
Oh, when you fucking blow Heimdall's arm off, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He really managed to be a dick all the way up to the end.
All the way through.
When you're choking him to death and he just goes, monster. And like, that's like an attack on everything Kratos is trying to not be right now. And Mimir is pleading with him not to kill Heimdall. And I get it. Like, I understand him, but like, it's, you know, being in that situation is way different than cheering on the sideline being like, you did the right thing. Like, killing a person who inevitably leads to a prophecy where the entire world ends, gotta be difficult. Also has to be difficult when you're trying to not murder people and not make it your entire identity, and someone who you're killing tells you it's your entire identity.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kratos needed that. He did, because Kratos has been fighting his nature this whole time, and it's destroyed him from the inside. He's lost so many people doing it, and he's freaking out about it on a constant basis. But he's just like, you know what? I am going to lean into my nature, and I'm going to steer it in the direction of good. You know, he's like, I am this god killer. I am this. Nothing about me can change that. But I can do it to protect myself and the ones that I love. And that's all he begins to care about.
It's definitely well written from the top to the bottom. It's the attention to detail is crazy.
And he's like, you know what? I don't want to be a god killer. I don't want to start another war. But like, if I don't end this, Odin will. And Odin's end is so much worse than mine. So, like, I'm just going to do it. The general consensus around the 9 realms seems to be that Odin's a fucking chode and he needs to go.
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah, so he's just like, fuck it. This is what I do. I'm just going to do it. And I'm not a monster because of it.
Right. And like, it is kind of like, I am your monster no longer from the first game is like, yeah, okay. All right. Whatever, guy. Whatever fucking, you know, VP of one of the most corrupt republics currently happening right now. Whatever, dude. I killed through a whole pantheon of motherfuckers that would eat you for breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
While Freyr recovers, Kratos reluctantly allows Atreus to infiltrate Asgard and finish reassembling the mask in order to steal it from Odin. In order to do that, he goes to Muspelheim with Thor. However, only after rediscovering Thor in a tavern, and the tavern fight with the whole, you know, Thor relapsing into his alcoholism thing was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
That
Some of the best storytelling in the game.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. You know, it was beautifully told, but it was very hard to watch. You know, very hard to watch Thor go through that.
Yeah. And like her saying like, you know, mom and me, like, we're still here. Even now. Like, even right now, even though you're currently relapsing, like we're still here.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. It's gotta be because he's been committing, you know, atrocities for Odin on Odin's behalf for years.
And not receiving a word of thanks for it either. No. You know, he's been trying his whole life to get even a crumb of appreciation. And even Odin at the beginning was like, you go try be nice to him. See what happens. It's the only language he understands. I'm like, bro, that's your son. Like, just try it, douchebag. Like,
Give it a try.
it's just, my God, have you ever tried it?
Single try.
I tried it and he's fine. Atreus like, I tried it and we got along great. Shut the fuck up.
It's true, and the whole level is like Atreus trying to reconcile, the fact of like what he's just seen go on with him and his daughter. But it's so good. So one of the best moments, I literally laughed so hard that I had to pause, was Atreus just sort of like trying to do this whole big speech about how like Thrud is there for you and looks up to you, and Thor just goes, hold on. And he goes over to another part of the level and just goes, fucking starts vomiting.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was kind of funny.
It was a little funny. Like, it's not, like, overall, I understand why. It was done for comedy, I'd like to think.
Yes.
But,
Oh, yeah.
However, at the end of, this whole affair in Muspelheim, Sif shows up and claims that, his father killed Heimdall, that Kratos killed Heimdall. True. Correct. However, Odin shows up and starts being like, yo, what the fuck is good? Please shut up. Like, you're dismissed, essentially, Sif. And she goes to Thor and kind of has this, one of my favorite interactions, really, between the two of them, which was her kind of pleading about, trying to remember their sons who were thrown at Odin's problems until they died, essentially. And, like, she says, like, what if Thrud is next? And he kind of has this moment of reconnection with his wife where he kind of kisses her hand and, like, kind of tells her it's going to be okay. And then he tries to fucking kill Atreus. And he goes, you kill my sons, you sleep in their beds. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was terrifying. It was a really good section. And Sindri had given Atreus a one-way, like, kind of return home, like a monster recovery, like, quick play spell to get him back to the refuge. And he goes, oh my God, this better work. And then he doesn't, because he's like gonna be killed if he doesn't.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Oh man, that like, I watched that and like my butt clenched, man. That was like, oh, this Atreus is mere history. Atreus is a hashtag that's like, Atreus is done. Good night. Oh my God. I can't believe he weaseled his way out of that shit.
Crazy. Atreus successfully escapes back to the refuge. He gives the mask to Tyr, who unexpectedly agrees to fight and reveals he knows a secret way into Asgard. However, Brock, the fucking play of the game, suspicious of Tyr's abrupt change of heart, suddenly realizes that Tyr has been calling Atreus Loki, when only the Asgardians know him by that name.
Oh,
Brock with the fucking natural 20 perception insight check.
Oh, yeah. That's so good. And Atreus, good on Atreus for not letting anyone know his other name besides the Aesir.
Right.
Oh, my God.
They would have no idea. They would have no idea if not. Tyr fatally stabs Brock, revealing that he had been Odin in disguise the entire time. The group manages to drive Odin away and retrieve the mask, but a grief-stricken Sindri blames Atreus for Brock's death and abandons the group to mourn.
Oh, my God.
It's so sad. It was so sad. I was sitting and I was like, not Brock. Not Brock.
Yeah.
Not Brock. No way. Like, no. Not Brock.
Yeah,
No.
and the worst part is I saw Brock dying, but obviously didn't see it like that. But the only reason I saw Brock dying is because they very clearly went into detail as to what would happen if he did.
Right.
And I was like, oh no. Like in the elevator scene with the mermaid, I'm like, they're killing Brock today. They're killing Brock today. We can't be no. I was like, no,
I had no idea. I dead ass had no idea for real. Like I was so sad. So sad.
He was such a great character. And you just see how it broke Sindri. You know, you see why he went to such lengths to bring Brock back. Right. And you could see, and Sindri's like, maybe there's something I could do. Maybe I could just go and I can get it. I could fix it. I could fix this. And Brock's like, you have to let go. Just let me go. You've done enough. Just let me go.
Right. Oh my God.
And that's so much worse knowing where Brock is going, or should I say isn't going.
Fair. Atreus and Kratos commit to Ragnarok, entering Muspelheim to help Surtur, the fire giant, achieve a destined primordial form that will destroy Asgard. So it's highly implied Surtur, we saw him in the first game in a more big-ass, scary, holy shit form. But Surtur is like this being of ash now, and he's just like forging these swords in Muspelheim, and like we get like sort of rejected by Surtur in the first place, and he doesn't want to do what he needs to do, which is combine with the other giant, his lover. It's highly implied that they need to fuck in order for Ragnarok to come about.
Yep.
But they kind of dance around it for sure.
He's like, well, there's another way we could do this. And they're like, oh, of course there is.
Oh, thank God. But he has her heart and she has his. So he's going to put his fire into Kratos' blades and have him stab her heart so that they can combine. Unfortunately, this ends up kind of biting them in the ass a little bit later. But it was that whole level and the fight in right before Surtur becomes Ragnarok with the two Valkyries was a lot of fun and was probably one of oh God, I feel like I've said that 4 times already. Probably one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it also, you know, one of my favorite parts of the game is it actually happened right before this.
What's good
is after Brock had died. Do you remember that Atreus was just like, can we just go home? Like,
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And he's just like, yeah, no, I just want to go home. And Kratos is like, okay. And then everyone's like, where the fuck are you guys going? And Kratos is like, we're leaving. We're gone. You know, we're not doing this.
We have to get out of here.
We have to get out of here. And they just go home and Atreus is like, I want to go deer hunting. Can we go do that?
No, hold on. You're absolutely right.
Oh
but
my God.
Did you catch? He quoted Kratos from the first game. He goes, what do we hunt? And he goes, deer. And he goes, where? And he goes, in the direction of deer. Which is from the first game.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, and it's pretty much like a whole like sequence where you hunt deer, but then Atreus has just like a full emotional breakdown.
Yeah, and then even
actually
Kratos does too.
Yeah. And he's like actually like kind of emotionally received by Kratos for the first time, that to great effect anyway.
Yeah, and he's like, Kratos is like, we have to go back and finish this. We can't leave this undone. And Atreus is like, it's going to be a war, isn't it? And Kratos is like, yeah, it is. And I'm okay with that. It's the first time Kratos comes to terms with, he's the god of war. He is the god of war. And it's just a thing that happens to him. And he can't push against it. And Atreus is like, but we're doing it for good. We're doing it to be good to people, to free people, and, free people who want to be freed. You know, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like this is one of the higher like moments of emotional like resonation in the game, like where there's like even playing the game, you like can tell that there's like a different tone going on.
So I have an idea.
What's up?
Since we are about an hour into this,
A little stoppy stop.
I say,
Oh boy, episode 3.
Really chew on this.
Oh
In
baby.
the next episode.
All right. Well, I'm a hungry little boy, so I will not say no to that for sure.
Is it because I said chew on it, or?
Well, no. I think it's just kind of the basis I haven't eaten.
That could be it.
I did get one of my favorite H Mart snacks, which are called Choco Boys. I will send you the packaging later. I don't know if you've ever had a Choco Boy. You need to grab a Choco Boy. No, you can't. You can't. Yeah. Right, but Nicole definitely needs to try it. Let her know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Boy. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that this is, we've put, I think even playing the game, this is like when I like maybe took a moment off and started to like savor the experience, because like,
you have to mentally prepare
it's
yourself.
About to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, guys, thank you for this year in Tryforce history.
Wow, yeah, it's about to come to an end.
I can't wait for 2023. We got some cool stuff planned for 2023. I got more streams planned for 2023. I am going to attempt a really fun Pokemon themed stream in 2023, hopefully in January. It's going to be, we're going to be making sandwiches, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet style. And I'm going to see, we're going to make all the shiny sandwiches and see how they taste.
Oh my God, I'm so in. Please let me know.
We're going to see if we can do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So
I'll bring some ingredients. You let me know. I'll bring some ingredients.
Hell yeah. We could all do, me, you, and Rain, we could all do it.
I'd love that. I would adore that.
That'd be amazing. It's going to be a lot of prosciutto, everybody. A lot of prosciutto.
I'll handle that. Don't you worry.
Yeah, if I know, I'm going to have to get a whole charcuterie board. But thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy, and healthy new year. And I can't wait to bring you more stuff next year.
Happy New Year. It's 2023, and that's how many of us there are here in the Tryforce podcast.
2023 of us.
2023. There's 2023 people involved in the making of this podcast.
Yes. You, me, Rain, and my 2019 clones I have stuffed in the basement.
Right. Clones of me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful
Have a good one.
Take care.
Happy New Year. Bye.
And we'll see you next year when we do something else.